Well, hello there, everyone. So excited for today's condo tour. I just noticed I made a typo in the title page there. It's actually Markham and Thornhill that we are seeing today. And I am so excited because a couple of my favorite buildings in Markham are currently have units for sale, and they don't always. So sometimes we just get really lucky when we're planning these, and everything is there for us to show and to offer, and let you know what we think about them. And now these are all condo buildings that I've personally visited, so I only give my recommendations to the ones that I can really speak to. So anyways, welcome aboard. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It is so nice to have a little break from the rain and the cold and the wind. So thank you that even on this gorgeous day, you are taking time to be with us. Really appreciate that. Let's get started. So there I am, before COVID haircut. My name is Sharon Parento. I'm an agent with Keller Williams. I sell and buy for my clients. And one of the things that I love to do is to help people get unstuck from their situation. I think this harkens back to when I used to be a teacher. And I always liked working with the students one-on-one and helping them come up with new ways of seeing something, and helping to unlock those eureka aha moments for them. So that's the same with real estate, believe it or not. There's quite a bit of teaching that's involved, especially when I'm working with clients who have not sold a home before, or maybe if they did, it was 25 years ago. And on the other side, I'm also working with a lot of full-time, first-time buyers. Now, sometimes those are people in their 60s and 70s, and sometimes it's people in their 20s and 30s. But regardless, there's a lot of information that I have acquired and expertise that I have earned and can help pass along to you, because I really think that when you have good information, you make better decisions. Okay, so we are going to look first and foremost at the MLS sheet. Now, every single day that I'm working, I am looking at these MLS sheets, and they're quite coded. They have a lot of embedded information in them, but unless you know how to decode them, it's a little bit obscure. So I want to take a couple of minutes, and just take you through, because you're going to get a copy of the MLS sheets from every one of the listings that we're looking at today. And we're actually looking at 10, which is so fantastic. This is far more than what we could usually see in my minivan, because of course we have no travel time. So this is a great way of getting an overview of the market. And so I'm going to tell you what we're looking at today as way of an introduction. We will be searching up 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom condos that are at least 1,000 square feet. Now, there are condos bigger than your house, I guarantee it. And there's also ones that are quite small. But really, if we are talking about what the average person is looking for, it's that kind of 1,000 square feet or bigger, between $500,000 and $850,000. Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of people who are looking to perhaps downsize, they want a nest egg at the end of the time. So they sell for 1.1, they buy for 650, and the remainder is what they invest to help their retirement be more enjoyable. We don't all have company defined pensions, right? So we want to make sure that we are making great plans for the future. Okay, that was a bit of a sidebar. When we look at MLS sheets like we have here in front of us, you're going to notice that there's numbers, there's words, there's codes. What's going on here? Well, the first place that we can kind of enter into this form is to look at the price, the list price. This is what the agent is asking on behalf of their client for you to pay. I'm going to suggest that that is not what you will pay. It's either going to be a little bit higher in some cases, but usually right now it's lower. And again, my clients get freaked out when they think of a low ball offer. But really, if we think in percentages, we want to be somewhere around 95% of asking in order to start negotiating. So you're not going to get 10% off. That's not really a realistic expectation. But if we could start at 5% off, that's still a lot of money, right? That's $32,000. In what other realm can I save you $32,000 when we negotiate? That's a big deal. So there's the price. There's the property taxes. This varies from building to building and from property to property. So we really have to pay attention, because in some of the new buildings, they can be twice as much in the property taxes as the old buildings. We also want to pay attention to the maintenance fees and what's included, so that we can really we can compare and contrast like with like. So if we're looking at one condo and the maintenance fees are $600, and another condo where the maintenance fees are $800, you might think, wow, that's, you know, a big difference, and the $600 is a better deal. But what's included? That's what we have to know. We have to know, what are the amenities, and are they valuable to you? Do you need to have a building, or do you want to be in a building where there's a concierge? Is that important to you? Well, that's an expensive amenity to have somebody there behind the desk. You know, that's a big deal. So that costs money. An indoor pool, that costs money. All of these things contribute to the overall maintenance fees you will be paying. You did not know this, I bet. But even if you have one parking spot or two parking spots, you're paying maintenance on the parking spots, which makes sense, because those structures do require ongoing maintenance, whether or not you have a balcony. And also the overall size of your property is going to be a determining factor. But look at these ones. I love this building here on, this is right at Royal Orchard and Yonge. It has $1,000 a month in maintenance fees, but everything's included, right down to your cable television. So we're talking heat, hydro, water, air conditioning, all of the common areas, and you see them there, including a car wash and an indoor pool and a party room. Every single one of those is being taken care of by somebody that is not you. And that is the big advantage of condo living. Now, whether or not you realize it, you pay maintenance fees sitting in your home, your detached home, or your townhouse. You pay. And as we get older, we tend to pay for more and more of the services associated with maintaining our home. Am I right? So I'm just working with some downsizing clients in Aurora, and they are paying for their snow shoveling and their grass mowing. No problem. They also have a cleaning service that comes in. Well, I know that's not exactly in the same realm, but after a certain number of years, you need a new roof, you need a new windows, maybe a new furnace. But we don't put money aside every month. We just have this big bill once every 7 or 8 years. That's not the way they work in a condo, as you can imagine. They also have to have a certain amount of money in the bank against contingencies, any kind of problem or emergency. And so we want to always make sure that that is a nice, healthy reserve fund when we are purchasing a condo. Okay, so there's other important numbers to consider on this form that are going to really help you in deciding if this is a property that is of interest to you. So number one, we have the number of bedrooms and the number of bathrooms. Even the bathrooms are coded though. We have 1 times 4, 1 times 4. What does that mean? It means how many pieces they are in the washroom. Tub, toilet, sink, double sink, shower, bidet, whatever. Okay, so when we see 4 pieces, we are presuming them to be 1 single sink, a toilet, and a shower and a bathtub kind of combination. That's usually what it is. Okay, if it's a 2-piece, it's a powder room. So these are things that you would want to know, because lots of families or couples even, they like to have their own bathrooms. And so that would be an important thing to realize. 3 bedrooms are quite rare. They are not very common. What we see much more in the condo market realm right now is a 2-bedroom plus a den. this 2+1. You're going to see that on some of the listings. I'm going to tell you, sometimes you need some imagination to think of what is the den, because it looks like a nook, you know, a little nook in the hallway, and they're calling that the den. So I'm going to show you some ones that have an actual den, and then other ones where that term is used a little loosely. Okay, so then we have whether or not they have a storage locker. A storage locker is like a big cage about the size of an elevator. Let's just pretend it's about that size. Great place for your snow tires, your luggage, your off-season clothing and bins, your holiday decorations, whatever it is that you don't want to take up your precious living space in the unit itself. It's almost like a mini garage. How many of you actually park in your garage? Most of us don't. So this is kind of like that. Okay, then how many actual parking spots, and whether or not, like, do you notice the word exclusive under this? This means that it's not owned separately apart from the unit. It's attached to the unit, but it cannot be severed. So you can't actually sell this kind of parking spot. In new condos, you can sell the parking spot as a separate titled entity. In this case, it's exclusive use. So it's assigned to you. Nobody else can park there, but it's almost like you're borrowing it. Now, this is a big deal too, is how large are these units that we're looking at? Well, 1,400 square feet to almost 1,600 square feet. That is a big difference. And I'm going to tell you that this is just a problem with the forms that we fill out when we list something on the Toronto Real Estate Board. There is like a drop-down menu, and you have to choose the one that is closest to your size, the range. And it's not very helpful. So what we really like is when agents actually list the square footage. We can look for it. We can find it in other places, but you know, I'd rather know that it's 1404 than, you know, that's a different kind of condo than 1565. That's a big difference, okay? So for those of you who think that condos are small and boxy and cramped and dark, that is not the case. We are going to show you some. I mean, those do exist, but you have plenty of selection right now. Do you know that in order to pull this all together, I looked through 160 condos for you. You're welcome. It was fun though, because it's a great way for me to know what's in the market. And yeah, there are some really small, dark, dingy ones, but there are also bright and light and airy and good value. So we're going to show you those for sure. Now, do you want to be up high or do you want to be closer to the ground? Totally your choice. I have clients that were today putting in an offer on a unit that was on the second floor of a condo in Markham. They really actually preferred to be up higher. They wanted a nice view from their balcony, and this one was looking kind of at trees rather than above the trees. So that is totally your choice, your call. We are going to look at ground floor units that you don't have to use the elevator to get to. That's a big deal right now with COVID. So completely personal preference. The other thing I want you to know is that when we send you these listings, they have a whole gallery of pictures of the inside of the unit, the inside of the common area, like the hallways, the lobby, all of the amenities like the pool or the exercise room, and it gives you a much better view. And some of them have a video tour where you can go and look at them, and there's a lot more information there. So we also choose according to your preference for which side of the building you want to be on. This sounds like something you would never think of normally, but it can make a big difference to your view. These same clients that I just referenced, we had looked at another property. It was just perfect in every way, except it overlooked the Walmart parking lot rather than the forest that was on the other side. You can imagine that if you wake up every single day and you're looking at a Walmart parking lot, you know, for some people that would make a big impact on their enjoyment. Some people, they wouldn't care. But in one of the buildings we're going to be seeing today, the landmark of Thornhill at Bayview and John, Literally, one side of the building overlooks the railroad tracks. And if you are on a lower floor, that can be noisy. So you really want to work with somebody who knows what they're talking about in condo land. And I have to tell you that doing these condo tours, both in person and online, has been so helpful to me. So I really enjoy doing them. Then we have the client remarks. This is all based on what the realtor wants to kind of tell you about. You can read those for yourself. And then we have a few things that only I can figure out for you, and that is the days on market. One of the condos we're looking at, I think it's been on the market like almost 200 days. So why is that important? What difference does that make? Well, if somebody has been trying to sell their condo for 200 days, there's something wrong. Usually it's the price. So this is a time for me to call up the listing agent and see if they're willing to negotiate. We don't know their situation, but there might be a place for us to get a deal. And I love that. I love getting deals. So that's one thing we can find out for you. Oh, the other thing we can find out for you is who is selling it. Today, we're going to be looking at a condo that is being sold by a power of attorney. Again, why does that make a difference? Well, if the property has some need of a fix-up, it needs some work, maybe it hasn't been modernized recently. Again, there could be an opportunity to really get a good value and save some money. Sometimes I liken it to, if I can get you $30,000 or $40,000 savings, that goes a long way in renovating the dusty rose carpet and the ducky wallpaper, right? Am I right? So those are all things that we can find out for you and help you to get a really good buy whenever possible. Okay, so let's look at this first building. This is our first unit, and this is at Bathurst and Steeles, right in the heart of Promenade Mall area. And there's a lot of buildings in there, and they have some similarities, and then they have some differences. Now, in the older buildings, because that is such a high demand neighborhood, lots of them have been purchased, renovated, and then resold, usually for a bit of a profit. So I'm choosing this one, first of all, because I want to point out to you that it is 1,342 square feet. That is bigger than the townhouse I am sitting in right now. And it also has an open balcony, which is really nice. It has all-inclusive maintenance, and it has been really renovated. So this is this great neighborhood where people have access to shopping and restaurants and transit, and there's a big redo happening at Promenade Mall. So when we have this kind of building, we see also that it has a bit lower property taxes, right? Compared especially to your home. And the maintenance, as I said, is all inclusive, and that helps to account for its higher price, right? So it's $934 a month for absolutely everything except your property taxes, okay? So there we go. I want to show you what they've done so well in this building, in this unit, I mean, and why I chose it. And I've chosen some funny pictures for you because I want you just to get an idea, the things that you might want to consider if you're looking at a condo. So this is 730. It's been on the market many days. It has this beautiful kitchen, which has clearly been updated and upgraded. They've even built a little box seat in the solarium. I love this so much. This is a really nice, classic, neutral, livable kitchen renovation. Some of the kitchen renovations we're going to see, they are, I would say, a strong design choice and maybe not as livable. So I really like what they've done here. I also wanted to show you the broad expanse of the living room as it opens kind of into the kitchen at the end. The kitchen is a galley kitchen that opens up to a sitting area that's adjacent to the dining room. So very, very nice, open, bright, wall-to-wall windows, as you can see, with the nice Levolor silhouette blinds there. And then I also wanted to show you, this is an example of the den that I was talking about. It's not a closed off space. So it doesn't have a closet or walls or a door to make it a bedroom, but it is a very multi-purpose area. Some people use this as the dining room. Some people use it as a second TV room or a guest room with a pull-out couch. So it's really a very, very useful thing to have when you only have 2 bedrooms. Okay, I better move on. This bathroom here has not been renovated. So this is an example of a property that has been mostly renovated, but still has a few things you might want to upgrade over time. And then we got lots of walk-in closet space. I wanted to show you that this is very typical of what an ensuite, the master ensuite usually has a walk-in closet like this. And there we go. We have the lobby that has just been updated as well. So very, very nice and not a bad price point considering the size, and a great opportunity for somebody who wants to live in that neighborhood. So that's the thing. You get to choose the neighborhood you want to live in, because no matter where you want to live, there's a condo for you. I sound like a car salesman. Okay, this is one of the most exciting products, and at first you're not going to think so. But first of all, let's look at this price, $638,000. This one has been on the market a bajillion years. I think this is the one that was on the market for 200 years. I mean, 200 days. And this is a low-rise condo building that has typical condo apartments above the lobby, which you see here, nice lobby with concierge. But what is so interesting about this is that this is like a townhouse. Let me go back on the picture and I want to show you. The ground floor condos that you see in this artist's rendition of the building, they all have a front door onto a patio, a terrace that is street level. It has a little gate that locks, so you can enter your building, your unit from the street, or at the back of this complex, you go behind it, there is surface level parking and you can park there. So that's the bottom right hand picture that you're looking at. That is the access to your building from your unit, from the surface parking that is covered. So there's underground parking for the rest of the condo, and there is surface parking that is covered for these units that are like little townhouses. The layout of this condo and the paint is a little dark, but that's not what I want you to see. What I want you to see is having your own terrace, your own patio here, your own direct access, and something that feels like a bungalow. All the bedrooms are organized down one end. The kitchen, living, dining room is at another with a walkout to this terrace. At 638, this is such a great transition property for people who are not ready to be in a condo apartment, but still want to have the exercise room, the concierge, the security, all of that. Now, this looks like these cars are in motion. It's not. It's street parking, and it's just a little side street. I've been here. I've seen this unit. That street there is just a side street that doesn't actually lead anywhere. It just takes you up to the side of the houses. So what a great opportunity for somebody who has a dog. Am I right? Have you worried about what you're going to do with your pet if you moved into a condo? Well, we don't have any elevators here, my friends. I think this is like seriously one of the best ideas ever. And we're going to be featuring more townhouses next month on the 20th of November. We're going to have a townhouse tour, brand new, just because I'm so in love with this idea of having a product where you have more space, fewer condo fees, but somebody else does the maintenance. I love this. Okay. Have I said enough about this? But I think this is so smart, and I don't know why they don't build more of them. Okay, as they say in Monty Python, now for something completely different. We are at the landmark building of Thornhill, and this is at Bayview and John. It's almost like a campus. It's gated, it's on several acres, like 4 acres of beautifully manicured lawns, right Young and Bayview and John. And this is a very high demand building. And for the price, under 600,000, this is a really good opportunity in this building. These condos tend to go for a little bit more. So that's the lobby. That's there's 3 buildings that are, each of them are shaped like with 3 wings. So this is the building we are looking at here. And this is one of those coveted 2+1s. So I think in this unit, they actually turned the den into a 3rd bedroom. But what people love about this are the grounds, the beautiful maintenance of the gardens. Every day you see people out walking themselves, walking their dog, walking kids in a baby carriage. And I think I've been there, and it's very friendly. People say hello. It's like its own little village. It really totally is, and it's beautiful. This unit does not show particularly well because it's not staged. It doesn't even, you know, I don't know. It's just not. But I wanted to show you what I liked about this unit and why this one made it onto the top 10 list today. And that's because, number one, it's bright, it's airy, it's big, it's open concept, and it has the view. This is the one where on this side, you're looking at tennis courts and trees and the kind of common courtyard in the middle between the 3 buildings. If you were across the hall in this same unit, but across the hall, and you'd be looking over train tracks and the price choppers. So this is where we really want to make sure we get specific as to what is important to us. You'll notice that these condos, this particular building does not have any balconies. That's another thing. Is that important to you? Do you need a balcony to be happy? I know I would. And it's so funny, a lot of people really say they're important, but not very many people actually use them. And if you drive along Highway 7, you'll see all the balconies, and people tend to use them as a place to hang out their laundry, to store their bicycles, but yet everybody wants a balcony. So if you'd rather have big living area, this is the kind of building to consider. Okay, so I wanted to show you kind of what you're paying for. It's not just the pool and the concierge and the exercise room. It's living in a garden. It's like living in a little mini Edwards Gardens. Isn't that nice? Okay. Now, this is that area along Highway 7. Cox Boulevard is at Highway 7 and Warden, where they seem to have just dropped down there. All of a sudden, there are hundreds of new condo units at Highway 7 and Birchmount and Highway 7. We're actually they're calling that the Markham City Center. And it has been designated for a lot more development. You're going to see that there's lots more townhouses and tall condos and low condos. Everything is going in there, and lots of great transit options. Also wonderful restaurants and shopping and grocery stores. So it's very close to everything. I'm choosing this because it is somewhat unusual for that neighborhood because it has a terrace. And again, this is continuing the theme of outdoor living space as being important to some people, not important to others. But this is what differentiates this unit from other ones around it. Well, first of all, it's in a very nice building, very nice. I've taken a client in there to look, and I was very impressed by the security. There was 2 or 3 security guards that were kind of positioned at the concierge desk, and one of them went out on patrol while we were there. That was really great. But what I think this is kind of cool, this is a big unit. It's a 2+1, and I just want to show you, this unit is a ground floor unit. So this is another ground floor unit, a more typical condo in the sense that you come in through a central lobby to your unit. It just happens to be on the ground floor. But the big advantage to being on the ground floor is that you get this terrace versus a balcony. Okay, so I chose this to show you kind of an upgraded new construction. The kitchen, those cabinets and the backsplash and the countertop and even the cabinets in the bathroom, those are not builder standards. These have been improved and upgraded by the owner. And this is the one where the den is being used as a 3rd bedroom. So it just goes to show you can do whatever you want with it. This has a bit of an unusual layout because typically what we have is this galley kitchen with a bit of an island there, but we have a bit of a jog here. And so that living room that you're looking at in the top right picture is kind of a little around the corner. So it's a bit different of a layout. It's not a strictly boxy rectangular unit. It has a few interesting curves and architectural details that allow for that beautiful terrace space. Again, perfect for a dog owner, right? You don't want to have to take Fido or Fluffy up on the elevator 3 times a day. So this is a really great thing. And plus, you know, it's a wonderful place to sit out on a day like today and just enjoy your natural surroundings. Okay, so I wanted you to see this, both in terms of its variation of the floor plan, the fact that it's in this big city center now where it's hustling, bustling with lots of great amenities all around it. The second, the den that's being used as a 3rd bedroom. Okay, so all of that is there, a little bit different. Now, this is a sweetheart of an opportunity. I always want to show you a variety of options. And like I mentioned to you when we very first started at the promenade area, when we get to buildings that are of a certain age, people start buying them up to renovate, either for their own use or to flip for a profit. We like to talk about this in terms of before versus after. So this is a before unit, but it's one of the best. No, sorry, this is the after. Sorry, this is the 2-bedroom that has been fully renovated at 60 Inverlochy. This is to give you some inspiration for the next one, which I actually really like, way better than this one. This is only a 2-bedroom, and I'm going to suggest humbly that a 2-bedroom without that den is probably only big enough for a single person, unless you are a couple who really likes each other, because it's kind of a funny thought, but you're always looking at each other because you have this one large common area that you're living and eating and dining in, all of it kind of at one. But I wanted to give you the inspiration for what you could do to the next unit. So this kitchen has been kind of opened up. It's been opened up a little bit more. They've turned it into a beautiful, bright, white, modern area with stainless steel appliances, quartz countertops, white cabinets, all of the current trends. Check, check, check. It also has had hardwood floor, and they obviously did some additional renovations in the laundry room. The picture's a bit distorted because we had to fit it to the slideshow, but these places have an actual laundry room, not a laundry closet like the new construction. And that's big. That's really important because it ends up being extra storage for all your toilet paper, all your big bottles of Tide. So this is very valuable space. And you can see here too that they pulled out the bathtub and they put in a slide-in walk-in shower. Great idea. So this is really a great after, and it's only $529, but it is going to be a little small compared to the next one. This is the before. This is $524, so it's actually $5,000 cheaper, but it has an extra bedroom and it has a southwest exposure. You're going to see why that to me is important in a second. This overlooks the Toronto Women's Golf Course, that young, just as it dips into the valley. And so Inverlochy has 4 condo apartment buildings on it. It's 50 Inverlochy, 60, 80, and 90. So 50 and 60, these are the ones that have forced air heating and air conditioning. The other ones, 80 and 90, it's all baseboard, electrical heating, and no air conditioning. So I really like these 2 buildings way better. And look at this one. This one has had a big redo of the lobby. It looks very fancy, almost like an upscale hotel. Very, very nice common area. And they've been working on improving the outside as well. So what you can see the scaffolding there, they're working on refacing some of the balconies that have had water damage. Water and concrete over time are not friends. So this sunny south exposure overlooks the tree line that just separates you from the beginning of the Toronto Women's Golf Course. It's been on the market a bajillion years, like seriously, and it's because I think they have some particular taste. It's not awful. It's just a lot of work, people think, to renovate. So if you like it as is, terrific. You know, you get an amazing 3-bedroom condo for $500,000. That's incredible. Look at the views from every window. All you see is green. I love that. But if terracotta tile is not your favorite thing in the world, well then, you're gonna have some work to do ahead of you. Now, some people wanna just turn the key and walk into that place like we saw at the promenade, where everything's been done. You don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to spend a dime. Other people, they want it done the way they want it done. And they have particular choices in terms of, you know, their preferences. So I think this is not awful. It's not unlivable, that's for sure, but it does need probably some new flooring and maybe a change of backsplash and a couple of other things. But look at that. So I'm going to label this the deal of the century. No, not quite. A bit of hyperbole, but what a great building in a fantastic location on Inverlochy, right close to Yonge. I did say it's the deal of the century, but I'm saying that a bit in tongue in cheek. It's a great opportunity because it has been listed for so long that I think that if you were to come in with an offer anything over 500,000, I think they should probably take it and consider themselves lucky. You never know though. You might be able to get it for $495. Can you imagine $495 for a 3-bedroom condo? Super, super good price. Okay, so that needs some work, needs some love, but you've seen the potential in the other unit. I hope you're inspired to consider something like that. Have any questions about renovations? Type them in the chat box. You have any questions about reading these MLS sheets? Type them in the chat box and we'll get to them at the end. Any other questions about condo living that you're interested or concerned about? You can email me, you can call me. I love talking shop. Okay, so now this is a really special condo. This is absolutely one of my favorite condos in all of Markham. It's right on Yonge Street. You've driven past it 1,000 times if you live in that area and you never noticed it. I can guarantee you, because from the back side, the Yonge side, it's nothing special. On the other side, I think you end up coming in through Center, just south of the muffler place. You come in from a side street, and again, you don't realize what you're going to see until you get inside it. This is the Minto Water Garden. And I'm telling you, if I ever moved to a condo in that neighborhood, this would be the building I would vie for. Because again, the ground floor units are 2-story, like townhouses. Just have a look. Okay, so this is a very, very special building. It feels like a hotel, and it is got a great amenities, but what is really captures my heart is the genius of the inside court, which is literally a water garden. So this is the funniest thing. I think this is so funny because I have a Labrador retriever and he would love to go swimming every day. I can tell you that for sure. I might even take him today. Well, the creeks are still running, but look at this. These ground floor units have, instead of a terrace or a balcony, they have a little, almost like a dock. And then they also have this common area that comes through the water feature that they have. So this is maybe a foot or 18 inches. It's not very deep. It's like a reflecting pond. And they have the constant sound of trickling water. And this side of the building is so quiet. All of the amenities are really top grade. Now, this unit that we're looking at is unfortunately not one of the ones that overlooks this water garden. If it was, it would probably be a bit more expensive, but it does have the very, very typical new construction layout of the center being living, dining, and kitchen, and then what we call a split layout, where there's a bedroom on either side. Gives you privacy, gives you multifunction, and allows there to be 2 separate bathrooms. Where the one that we just saw on Inverlochy, it's more like a bungalow layout, where you have the kitchen, living room, dining on one end, and all the bedrooms organized down the other end, with a hallway. And that's why in the new construction, they do this layout. It's because there's very little wasted space. When you get into some of the older condos, they're very big, but they have a lot of dead space. Like, you walk in and there's a foyer, great, a place to leave your shoes. It's taking up 20 square feet or more, I guess even more, 40 square feet. Then you've got a hallway that goes down to the bedrooms. Again, it's just traveling area. Where with this, everything that you see is a place that you can be kind of using and living. And in this one, it does have the den, which, like we said, you have to use your imagination sometimes. This is right by the front door, actually. So it is a little bit awkward as a dining room, but you don't have another real separate dining area. So it makes sense to have a separate dining area. But it could also be an office or a spare bedroom, like we mentioned, or a guest room. This one has the south-facing balcony. So we know that when we are facing south, the unit is going to be light and bright. But in this particular case, it's not facing the courtyard. If it was, oh my goodness. So this is the Minto Water Garden at 7460 Yonge Street. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so now this is another interesting building. This is on Main Street in Markham. It's right behind, what's the name of that coffee shop? It's not Starbucks. I think it's the other one. Is it Country Style, or is it the Second Cup? I think it's the Second Cup, yes, on Main Street, on the west side of Main Street in Markham, just north of Highway 7. And again, do you notice that both of these are like boutique buildings? They are only 4-6 stories high, so they've been keeping them like low rise. And again, this is one of those places that you choose because of the location. The unit itself is average, but the building is very nice. The amenities are very nice, but the location is so nice. So look at this. I love this. Let's look at this layout together. Do you remember what I was saying about there being very little wasted space in these units? So everything is kind of arranged on the grid with the living room, dining room. And now this property is 1,000 square feet or more, a little bit more. But what's very interesting is that if you get bigger, if you go to 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, it doesn't really change the configuration of the unit. It just makes the rooms wider. That's what I've really noticed, is that when this is your main living area is 10 feet wide, it feels a bit cramped. But that's in order for you to have 10-foot wide bedrooms too on either side. So when you get the next size up, the next price point up, what we see is that this common living area in the middle, it gets wider. But the basic configuration doesn't change that much, because this is a very space efficient model. And we see it over and over and over again. Okay, so this, you just come in, there's this beautiful little courtyard, and I've seen ground floor units here as well. One side of it has the balconies, and the other side does not have the same exact, it has stores on the bottom. So there's a little bit of a difference there. But this is the one that's been on the market. Okay, this is the one that has been on the market 217 days. So I think they should probably be like to bargain now, right? Like, what would be fair market value for this? I guess the market will decide, right? The market decides for itself. But look, we've got low maintenance, higher property taxes than the other buildings by a couple of $100s a year, but a low purchase price. Let's look at the inside. That's the lobby. So nice. Everything really, really nice. And the fit and finish of this condo unit is quite nice. The doors, the bathrooms, the cabinets, those are quite nice as well, but pretty small. You see what I mean about the living area being 10 feet wide? Yeah. That's hard. And they do have a good sized bed in the bedroom, but there isn't much room on either side. So it's like you have to rob Peter to pay Paul in this particular um, floor plan. Either you have a big living area or you have big bedrooms, but you don't seem to be able to find both unless you spend a bit more money. Okay, a lot more money. Okay, so I wanted to show you this because they don't come up very often. But if you are foreseeing a time when you won't drive or you don't want to drive, you want to be right on Main Street, we have condos like this in Richmond Hill, in Markham, in Thornhill. We have them in Aurora, in Newmarket. So this is a type of living, and that's what we've tried to highlight for you. We have given you options that are high rise. We have given you options that are on the ground floor, the ones that enter directly into the unit from the garage, the ones that are part of a more of a complex feel. So, you know, lots of different styles. When I say there's literally something for everyone, there really, you know, there usually is. And if you're here attending today, then you must be at least somewhat open to the idea of a condo. Okay, now, this addresses one of the highest criticisms that I get from people. The most prevalent criticism is that the condo fees are so high. Well, okay, this is really funny because they've put the maintenance fee here as $2,124 a month. It is not, it's a typo. It's actually $224.33, $200 a month maintenance. It's one of these new green built buildings at Yonge and almost 14th, not Yonge, Markham. So this is a neighborhood that two buildings across the street from each other, they were both built as high energy efficient certified buildings. They have solar panels on the roof. Their common areas are pretty basic, nothing too fancy, but everything that you would need. Let me just see what the amenities are. Back up again. Oh, they don't tell you, but I do know that there is an exercise room, a security, there is on-site security, there is a party room. I can't remember what else. But in this case, we have the added value of having 2 parking spots and a storage unit, and it's a 3-bedroom. So super, super good value here, both in terms of the overall purchase price, the monthly maintenance, and look at very, very low property taxes. And it's in a great location right on Markham Road. So let me think about why this, you know, is appealing. I think people who are interested in good bang for the buck this is a kind of property that is going to appeal to them. Again, look at this layout. We've seen it over and over and over again. The only difference here is that we have an ensuite. We have a photo here of the ensuite for the master bedroom rather than a full-on second bathroom. This is just an ensuite, I think. But really, there isn't too much variation available. So what you have to choose first and foremost is the neighborhood. Where do you want to live? What's your budget? How big? And then we start fine-tuning that. How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? What exposure? So this looks like it's a nice, bright unit. And again, $200 a month maintenance. That is really, really, plus your utilities. That's the thing to remember, plus utilities in this case. Some of the other ones, the utilities are included, but not this one. Okay, we are coming close to the end. I want to make sure that if there's any questions, you type them in and make sure we get them answered. But this is Swan Lake. Oh my goodness, I love Swan Lake too. I wish I could get my mom to move there because it's such a great community. It's filled with older people who are very quiet. They, you know, most of the people who live there, the vast majority are owners. You can't always say that with new construction. Lots of times those units are rented out to people who don't own them. So this unit is renovated. It has reasonably low maintenance for the size of the units. The taxes aren't bad, but really what is so appealing about this is the community that you participate in. everyone, like there is a unit, there is a pool and fitness facilities for these condos, but there's also a huge one called like the Swan Lake Community Center, and you get to be a part of that. But let's look at this. You just notice that it's wider. It has its own formal, well, set area that could be a dining room. The kitchen's been all renovated in the style that I think is very popular right now, with the white and the stainless steel appliances. It's light, it's bright. It has an entire storage room that is also its laundry room, like with a separate pantry storage. And this side of the building, we look at this central courtyard. So this is facing south. The advantage at number 80 here of being south is that you get the sunshine. The disadvantage is that you're looking at the courtyard, where if you were on the other side of the hallway in the building, you'd be overlooking trees. So maybe that's the reason why this hasn't been snapped up, because otherwise it's a really nice unit with hardwood and a renovated kitchen, and in this fabulous community filled with social activities and community committees to belong to. They do gardening, they do bus trips when COVID isn't keeping everybody at home. Amazing amenities. There's a gatehouse with the nicest lady who does the gatehouse during the day. So just a wonderful, wonderful community, and a great place to age in place. That's the key to this community, is that you can be here a long time and make friends, do activities, and still be in a great part of Markham, right? Not in the sticks somewhere. Okay, so today we have seen 10 condos currently for sale in some of my favorite buildings in Markham and Thornhill. As I said, there were 160 for me to choose from, and that was 2-bedroom, 1,000 square feet, and in a price point that most of my clients are looking for. There is no right or wrong. There is no me telling you what is the best place and saying that these are my favorites. It's just that I've noticed that some buildings are better constructed, better maintained, better managed, better cleaned than other ones. And so that's why I chose these of other ones. But like I said, we have the same types of properties available in other communities. We can go up to Newmarket and find very similar properties, or Aurora, or Richmond Hill, or Vaughan. I saw some buildings that I wanted to show you in Vaughan today, but I wanted to stick just a little bit closer to Markham proper. So wherever you want to live, there are condos that will meet your requirement for size and amenities and everything else that might be important to you. So please sign up and join us again if you'd like to see another community. And I also want to remind you that you are always welcome to come back for a refresher course. If you've been to any of these these seminars before and you're ready to learn about them again, you are welcome. Please come on back, and even better yet, tell a friend. We love the fact that you're here. We're so appreciative, and we would love to help your friends get well informed about market conditions as well. Okay, so that's our promise to you. You are always welcome to come out and learn or learn again. Okay. And then this is a big deal too. A lot of people are wondering, how do I move from my 2,200 square feet to 1,200 square feet when I've got a basement full of stuff? Well, part of the way might be joining our decluttering journey, our challenge. It's our 30-day decluttering challenge. And this is an example of the first email that you get. It's not the entire thing, but every day you'll get an email that looks something like that below, and it's going to tell you what is your task for the day. And for the 25 minutes that it'll take, you're going to be able to check it off a list, and then we're going to get you started again the next day. So it's a little something you can do for yourself, and it's going to make you feel so much better about your environment. And if you do choose to downsize at some point, you've got a leg up on that process. It's the #1 thing you can do to improve your physical environment and also add value to your home. Never mind the granite kitchen. Get rid of the clutter. That will earn you more money in the end than virtually anything else you do. So we have a way to help you get along on that. Okie dokie. So there it is. That's like the bingo card we send to you, even with rest days and reward days. We want you to have the joy and the benefit. And I want to thank you so much for being with me. I really appreciate it. I don't see that there are any chats or comments in the chat room, but it's been really fantastic to share these units with you. I loved having a look for them for you, and I look forward to doing it again. Okay, so have a wonderful day. Get outside. Bye for now.